here tomorrow.
He was on a pub call.
That was Mario. That wasn't me.
And so is
Patsy Robbins here. Summer, I didn't get from WCF. Sue Epps here, John's here, Fiona's here, Ellen's here. David's here, Dan's here, and Amy's here, and Allison's here. Okay. Hi. I'd like to add to the Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on Donna. But what Susan's there.
Breaking Valley. Coming to the casino. You're gonna have
I
10
think I
cooks
took your
behind
seat. I'm sorry.
So I'd like to add to the agenda on D1, under D1, and you have it as the front page, miscellaneous alternates. We have to take that up tonight.
61.
61, thank you. Alternates.
I'll move it. Second.
Armand moves it and Johnny Kisco seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, my alter ego.
Oh, God.
Next is the minutes of February 16th. John? Second. Pat? In favor? I opposed. Okay. Next one is the first report from Dan the man. Oh, sorry.
Public participation.
Oh, sorry.
Mario, do you have any extra package?
Yeah,
For Andrew.
Here, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
For who?
Ellen.
Andrew.
Armand is,
Oh, hello,
with the
Amanda.
change.
Amanda.
Thank you.
who are you, Amanda?
I'm new assistant principal.
Oh, well, you got my, whatever it is.
Right. Good luck and all that
Good luck,
stuff.
all that stuff.
All positive.
Remember, whatever Martian says, do the opposite, you'll be fine.
Amanda, where'd you come from?
Carbon Drive High School in
Whoa.
Durham. Yeah.
I can't even spell it.
Took me a while to-
What district is that?
I can't spell plastic.
Which one?
Regional District 13.
13.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
It's an exciting time.
13. No,
Ed
you
probably
worked
knows
at
the guy
14 and 15.
No, I was in 13.
You were?
Yeah,
Where
that
did
was,
Of course.
Levy was the superintendent.
That was
Were you there when
BC.
she was there?
No, I wasn't.
No.
BC.
No, I was at Milford Public Schools.
Where were you?
Milford. before
No.
that.
Okay.
You had the stone.
I was with the superintendent there too, when she was in 14.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in every school district.
Ed and I overlapped.
Yeah, yeah.
Twice.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Public
Oh, public.
participation.
Thank God you're here. Yeah.
And approval of minutes.
Public participation. Anybody?
Anyone in the public?
No, there's no.
Okay,
Okay.
Dan, you're ahead.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I have in front of me is a summary data page that helps us keep track of the project health month to month. So just a couple of points off of it. The no change to our construction and finish dates. The overall construction percentage complete is now at 11%. And that's based on physical cost of the work. We had a big jump. Month to month was 7% last month, 11% this month. That's because of the structural steel portion of the cost, and the mechanical trade contractor got on board and has submitted, his come aboard cost as well as some materials he's already procured. The boilers. Overall health of the project financially, we're still doing really well as far as cost of changes to date are significantly low. At this point in time, CM contingency remains at 3.55 mil. And I believe Ed's cost on the other side is somewhere around 2.8.
8 after.
So again, physically or financially, we're in good shape. So in your packet, we produce project commentary that goes through the items of work from last month. I know that last meeting, we had a floor plan that helped you all see the building.
They still
from
have it.
above.
They have it.
You have it in your packet?
Yep.
And so as I refer to areas, if you have that handy, check that out. We weren't able to get a drone in. Unfortunately, we had some snowy weather in the week prior to our meeting, so we didn't get a current shot, but I'm sure you're all aware, the crane's out there and steel is moving along quite well. So as far as the activities over the last month, our primary emphasis was on site work. We placed a lot of fill. We brought up the areas of work. The area D under your kitchen, and as it backfills up against the lower level of the school. So it's area D up against area B. Is our school. We filled a lot of that area in. Again, engineer fill being brought up to the surface of the future first floor. That same emphasis was put in area A on the other side of area B. So if you were looking at the screen, you'd be swinging all the way to your left end of your view. So you can see all those columns got put up. That's area B. And where the columns stop, that's where the lower level stops. And the area to the left of that is your area A, which is your high school classrooms and up on the upper floor of the Board of Ed. So again, once we poured the retaining wall, a lot of fill went in there this month, but I'll stay in the order of sequence. So the other work that happened in area D was we finished up the subgrade work and we prepared for steel. And now steel erection is in process. As we go from area D to area B, we put a lot of emphasis in so that we could get to the slab on grade prior to steel arriving in that area. We were almost there, but the wet weather we had, we didn't want to place the slab. So we got it all the way to the point where all of the below grade utilities are in, the plumbing, sanitary, storm, and then the electrical runs out. Again, that's our heartbeat of the building. We're able to get all those backfilled. We're able to get the under drainage layer. Below your lower level, you have a drainage stone layer that carries any underwater, any groundwater that would get to that elevation gets taken out. So all that got there in time for steel. So all we have left to do in area B in order to place the slab on grade, there's a classroom with some floor boxes, and then we'll waterproof that system and place the slab on grade. Again, as we move through area A, I mentioned that we did a lot of the backfill, brought it up to grade. Actually, last week it was at grade and plumbing started. So in area A today, the sanitary under slab work is complete, signed off, and they started on the storm underground work in that area. With the steel erection in D, we are at a point where all of the steel is in place. It's been plumbed, it's been tightened, and they've placed the decking on. And now they're finalizing the decking. They're releasing us to go back into area D tomorrow. We'll have our first opportunity to get back in that area. Again, we're going to finish off the plumbing work. Then we have a bunch of floor boxes again for electrical work. And then we'll pour the slab on grade in area D. In the two other areas of the building, area E and F, foundations were about 60–70% when we met last month. Now foundations are complete in there. We've again brought in the fill to bring those to subgrade elevations. And we're going to have another crew of plumbers that are going to start the under slab sanitary work there next week. So overall, that's the project, what we've accomplished in the last month and looking ahead. One thing that's not on the screen, but I just wanted to mention is over at Daily Drive. We finally got the controller for the time clock to make the gates go. So next week we have training on that, and the gates will operate via a timer.
They will operate later on with a
There's another component that makes them actually tie into the security system that you have in your existing high school. That node, the micronode it's called, is still outstanding. The next projected delivery date is around April 10th. And at that point, somebody from the building can use a button on a telephone. It's like opening a door. It's like unlocking a door with an electronic latch. Or push a button and then unlock the gate that way. That's when you'll have full schedule control over it, because again, your security system can be programmed to unlock it and make the gate move when you want it to. And then if somebody pulls up to the gate and it's closed, they can talk to the person in the office and push that button, but not until April. What we're able to do next week is simply provide a timer device that goes in the gate itself so that the gate can swing open for buses in the morning and swing closed and then again in the afternoon. So the other part of the report that I provide to Ed, Mario, and the committee at large who choose to see, and to John Jenny, is cost and schedule issues. We don't have too much new to report from month to month. I kind of updated some of the statements where we are. I guess I'll hit a couple of points. The value engineering that we did, we're still tackling and bringing in those prices to firm up the value. We're still running consistent with what we projected to be the project saving. We're now at about 1.5 million. We've got another 800,000 or so to go, and it's primarily related to the ball field improvements, where some improvements, some drainage that we thought was needed under the fields, we don't need, because we did some potholing, dig holes with the excavator, find out how the soil perks, and your existing soil perks better. So they were able to reduce the sections of stone that are under the future fields. Big dollar savings. There's $700,000 in savings that we found in that phase 2 scope of work. Next, I just mentioned old business, the greenhouse, of course, that we executed or that we approved. Lightning protection was not taken out of the project. We have a decision today to make on glazing, and again, no real big cost issues. One, for Ed's benefit, I carried a cost of about 50K for an item where I thought the buyout on the stage floor, we had made a mistake. I didn't assign all of the work, but I found another guy. If I find that I go directly to the same contractor that's putting in your gym floor, I'm getting better pricing. And so my number on that is going to come down from 50K, probably around the 22K. And then I mentioned some specifics on schedule. Again, we've taken the hits that we had on weather. Most recently, when structural steel started, we lost a snow day, and then we lost another snow day, and we lost one day yesterday for wind. With a crane, anything that gusts over 40 miles per hour, you can't keep, the load swings too hard. And so they brought the crane down yesterday afternoon. But structural steel overall on a schedule basis, their target for turning over this area D so we could get back under finished kitchen work was Monday. And as I mentioned, it's actually coming to us tomorrow midday. So they're right on track for area D. Area B is where those couple of snow days, or actually the snow day and the wind day, are going to, push them out. But our next milestone for them is not until April the 4th, when they turn over for us again, so we can get underneath at that point, there'll be the full building will be up, but there'll be a safe area because we have to have 2 layers of decking installed before we can put men and equipment underneath that operation. So I really have confidence that they'll make up the 2 days, and hope that we don't have too many more impacted days, no more snowstorms. So again, just overall strength of the schedule, we're doing well. We have still some opportunity for lost time because the next activity that follows the structural steel is we place the elevated deck concrete. That's not as weather can't do it, of course, if it's freezing out, but we're past that. So we'll be able to place concrete slabs. The next activity is the fireproofing activity, where they come in and they blow in on the steel columns and beams this insulation product. That's weather dependent. And so we're looking at 40 degrees and rising on that activity. And we're, again, we start on slabs around April 4th. We project that we'll be able to start on time with fireproofing as long as those 40-degree days. We don't have nights, that are really below 40 by about this time next month. That's a lot in a nutshell. You're all aware of your camera, right? You get to see what's going on
Yeah,
every
the
day.
camera works 24/7. Also, the next thing, you have all the pictures, all the photos. And also I gave you with Barry and I meets with them. They got a 3-week look ahead.
Right, every week we meet with the foreman on Mondays, and that's a tool that we use. We look at the current week and then we project out 2 weeks. And what's on in our field office is actually 4th week and 5th week, where we're trying to look ahead to make sure there's no material problems and that the trades are planning that far in advance.
The next, any other questions for Dan? Dan, the team is doing a great job. I'm there in the morning, Mario's there in the afternoon, so with your boots. We do have a what do you call it?
Oh, you got your gator.
We got our gator. It has a license plate. If you look at it, I won't tell you what it is, but it has a license plate. And if maybe, if you make a call to Dan, you need a hot hat, and they can take you around.
We haven't, so you don't have to bring your own.
I'd like the group to go down some Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, we can take a ride around. So it's really,
We talked about not being able to put people someplace because it wouldn't be safe how safety so far on the project?
So we've had one accident on the project. The fellow got pinched when he was pulling forms. So to date, we've had one. It was not a lost time, but it was a reportable. He went to local to get forced aid.
Sounds like a normal sort of thing.
And just one thing too, is we're actually partnering with OSHA on this project, where it's an open dialogue, and we actually invite them to the project and schedule visits to tour the site, do an inspection from their perspective, from the perspective of OSHA. They give us feedback, we review things, and it's more of a proactive way of engaging with OSHA rather than asking them not to come until something goes wrong.
they were out already. I think they found one there wasn't a tag on the fire extinguisher.
Yep. Yeah, we brought them out when Marguerite started their heavy, the fall foundation work, because that's a high-risk activity. And we walked through the procedures that they were going to utilize, their fall protection that they had planned. And it is just great to create the dialogue. It makes OSHA know we're ahead of the game.
And they do have a safety person come who's there most of the time.
He likes it there.
Likes
Yeah,
it.
so he comes by more frequently.
Right,
than typical.
and then his boss comes too.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
that's what's good. So knock on wood.
And
The other question,
do you
yes.
think it'd be a good idea to send something out to the parents, just leading them to where that video live link is?
Okay, yeah.
I'm only saying because the kids in my neighborhood have been watching it, and on Fridays I've been taking them up there to look at the project because they'll attend the high school. But they're so excited about watching it, every night and then going on Friday to see
Why
it.
don't we just email the link?
Well,
So,
it's a nice tie-in. So we just rolled out something called Parent Square.
Yeah.
And we sent those invitation messages, so we can kind of tie that in. And I'm working on, so our live stream only supports one picture, but we have different angles of this project.
Yeah.
So there's another one which goes over to like it overshoots the old gymnasium, like the entire right side of the project. Then we have something that's further left. So what I'm trying to come up with is just multiple angles with switches between them. Not quite there yet, but work in progress. But I can send something to Parent Square and show them where the link is.
Great. I just think it'd get more excitement around the
Absolutely,
project.
it's,
impressive. I only get on that side of the building once in a while, but every time you go and see the progress, it's pretty amazing.
we're looking at the end of May to have the kids sign and then the building committee come out.
Right. at the end of May is when we finish the erection through B, through A, through E, closest to the gym, and then F, which is be the entrance of the future middle school. And so that's not the completed structure, but when as close to school getting out this year, we thought that that would be the best place for your topping out.
We had an idea too. We have a day of community service on May 26th. And part of the day, we were thinking, we didn't talk to anybody yet, but maybe having that be the day the kids come out and sign.
Well, talk to Brian, because he gave us a date already. That Friday. Was it the
Yeah, that's still, okay, so that's,
Okay.
Look
Yeah.
ahead at when.
I talked to him, so.
Oh, okay,
Almost at the
okay.
Point where the building is completely up at, area F is completely erected at that point, maybe a week or so too early.
Okay, that's,
So it may, if you really want the last beam, because it's kind of symbolic, or if you just want to choose one that we know we'll have. And if the date is more important than the symbolic beam, then we'll choose a different beam and we'll have it for sure.
I just have to tell you all, this is a little embarrassing, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. The day I come to work via Route 8. And the day that I first saw the crane, I honestly got choked up in my car. It was so emotional. I was like, what's that? Oh my God, that's what that is.
The big crane.
Yeah,
It's a big
crane.
Yeah, it's a huge crane, and it's because in the auditorium, the roof structure is very heavy. And so we needed a crane that large to lift what are known as the structural steel trusses that span that large opening. And they're so heavy, they're I think 28,000 pounds a piece. So that pick, as we call it, a pick, is what drove the size of the crane for the whole project.
And just so you can see it going up and down Route 8 too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
It's
coming
very
down with the
impressive.
hill.
Yeah.
It's just an art piece.
For a frame of reference, that those steel columns that are up now are gonna be up that much again. That's only 2 floors, right? Above crane.
It's actually, yeah, the columns that are standing that you see sticking up that look like little soldiers along area B are actually 3 stories tall. So they poke about 3 feet above what is the 3rd level. So from that point, you're gonna go up to a 4th level. Frame. And then a level.
Not quite double, but.
Right, not quite double.
One and a half.
Any other questions for Dan?
Just great
Yeah.
communication, Dan. We appreciate it.
Timing of that gate in the back, you know,
Monday.
Brian's not, no, timing, Jay wise.
Yeah, so we're
Brian's
working,
gonna talk to
we know what the bus schedule is now, but John Barlow is gonna be there on Monday at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And then we're gonna show him how to change the time if he wants to change it.
If you want to come out at 9, you could come out and see us.
Sure. Okay. I'll
That
come
was
out
raining.
there. I was building it.
Field trip.
So,
Lots to be out.
Right, sorry.
so the next thing we have B&L, John Jenny, his field operation reports 5 to 8. Again, Mario, I've seen him. He's around. He's really done a great job for us. When we have questions, he answers the PCOs. We have a question on something else, so we really did a good thing in hiring B&L. Take care of the other stuff. Okay. Any questions? Maybe we should have them one day come to.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
So well, one item that was in both reports was about the subgrade material.
Correct. Yeah.
Were we able to mitigate some cost there, or is
Well,
that still out
that's
there?
it. The cost came down, but there's a discussion about it.
So when he does his reports and things drop off of it, that's because they were resolved one way or the other. If they get carried forward, it's because they're ongoing discussions or.
He attends every other Wednesday meeting, and then he shows up when we need him. He does, so it's good. Very, very hands-on and knows his stuff. Any question, you know?
Knows his stuff. I tell you, that's a guy that knows his stuff.
We were lucky.
Yeah, you got a good person.
Okay, next item is the application broken down. You can see $4,049,790. I break it down for the city, POs, and who gets what. So again, Berlin Steel is getting a lot because of they have a lot of steel. Yep. And also MJ Daily, we did pay them because they have a lot of items that they did not come in last month. They asked us if they could come in this month.
We got them in for their first billing this time. So when a contractor starts to bill, there's a mobilization cost, there's a bunch of fees that are associated with their contract. And then their bond, their insurance. And then again, they had some stored materials. It was heavy. Let them fill some mobilization costs. They're heavily into the job. Our electric contractors heavily into
Can I have a motion to approve $4,049,790 to O&G, who then breaks down the checks and sends them out?
So moved.
So Pat, have a second? Second, Robin. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item. I don't know if we need to go into executive session, but it's one of the alternates for security.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it does relate to security, so you might want to go.
Yes. Okay. Can I have a motion to go into executive session, and we would, the board members could stay, and the principals could stay because it's their building, and Amy can stay, and O&G can stay. Okay.
He was only gonna invite you to stay.
No.
But he knew all that too. But he knew I was gonna take a bag of sandwiches.
Right, you already ate, you usually walk out.
I'm not.
And Ally can stay. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve executive session?
Second.
Pat, second. Johnny.